Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. I have a craft for everyone, whether you're a gnome maker, you want to do something with your hands because the state of things, I've got you. Listen, you need some kind of string or twine or yarn or macrame cord is what I'm using. You can see I'm using 3 or 4 millimeter. You can use 5 or 6. It doesn't matter. You're going to need some kind of wire. I'm lazy, so I'm using floral wire. This is 18 gauge floral wire. You can also use wire on a spool, which is what I have over here. And what I would do is just match your wire to the thickness of whatever it is you're using. So if I'm using one of the bigger ones, I'll use a heavier gauge wire. You can use t-shirt yarn for the big wire as well. You could use some beads, but you do need something to brush out if you want to use tassels. And all I'm going to do here is make sure this is straight, because all that just fell on the floor when I knocked it over, but you're going to tape it down. So just bend over about an inch, inch and a half at the top. It doesn't matter. And then you're going to tape that down. If you don't want it to wobble left to right, you want to bend over this piece here and then tape that down again. See how it's kind of hooked like a candy cane? We want to tape that candy cane portion down so that it doesn't move left to right, which only is going to happen if you don't do it, and then you figure out what I mean by that. So that's pretty taut and it's straight against the table. You can use a clipboard, by the way, as well. So we're going to take and measure. I know this part stinks, but at a minimum, you need 80 inches. So it may sound like a lot, but I promise it's not going to be. There's 3 different sizes and techniques I'm going to show you, so you can choose which one of these is best for you. I'm going to measure again one end to be between 14 and 16 inches. This part is what we're going to build on. So this will be like your maximum minus an inch or so of length. So you can go as long or as short as you want, whatever wire. I'll show you again 3 different ones. So you can start this every time you're working is over to the right and your stable is over to the left. So I'm going to line up the stable perpendicular or parallel with the wire. Then I'm going to take the working side and I'm just going to make a backwards 4. Some people call it a P. Doesn't matter, like that. We're going over the wire and the stable piece. You're going to lift those 2 up and pull the working through the loop at the right. Then you just pull it straight up. And then you're going to tighten it. You don't have to pull this super, super tight. You just have to have it stay. Okay? Now, because you started it that way, you're going to do 2 like that. So you go over and then use the working under and through the loop. Now that right there is the start. I'm going to show you a different start next that I use because it's easier and you cannot tell the difference. So once I pull that, again, I'm not yanking it really tightly, but I am making sure it's secure up near the other knot. Now you're just going to repeat this because we started with 2 on top. We just now need 1 underneath. So we're going to put the working yarn under stable and wire and then over and through the loop. So you go under and over. That's it on repeat. You don't have to learn another knot. Because we went under, now we go over, under the stable and the working, through the loop and pull it. That's it. That's it. So this is a perfect craft if you need your mind to wander, if you're working on a problem, if you're working through some social issues, if you're wondering what's going on in our country or other countries, it doesn't matter. This is one of those crafts that you can do while watching TV or humming or listening to a podcast or like me, listening to an audible book. Now, when you've gone as far as you want to go, you're going to tie it in a knot, just a single little over knot. Don't pull it too tight, but again, you're just locking it in place. Remove the tape. Now, I'm going to show you 3 different things to do. This one right here, we'll come back to and I'll show you in just a second, but we're just going to bend it in half. This is primarily so we can find the middle. You can take the bottom and just twist these 2 pieces together. Just like 2 twists. You don't need a ton. And then just bend this down. All of the knots can go on the outside. To me, that's the nicer look, but try it on the inside. So here you can see I'm just shaping my heart. It does help to put it down on the table. Now for the next one, and the one I recommend you do, is 105 inches at a minimum. That's my personal recommendation. And then you're going to go between 14 and 15 inches on the left-hand side, which is our stable yarn. Again, we make a candy cane, we tape the candy cane. That just makes it so easy to keep it stable. We put the 15 inches on the left, and we put the working yarn on the right. And then if you want to start it like the easy way, you just make a knot. This is it. Just make a knot. Again, make sure you have the 14 to 16, whatever, on the left. And then you're going to do this again. I'm not going to make you watch me, but again, you're going to go over to start. That's one. And then for the second one, you're going to go under, and then you're just going to repeat it. Easy, right? I don't know about you, y'all. There's a lot going on in the world, and sometimes I just need a break. I don't want to do something too hard, but I do need something to do with my brain. And stuff like this, it's just easy and it's fun. And my daughter loves them. These can be used as Stanley Cup charms. These can be used as backpack charms. I'm going to make a bouquet insert right here. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this off with a knot at the bottom. I'm going to, again, just see where the middle is. And again, you can push right here in the center. When you do get them a little bit bigger, starting from the center of the heart is a little easier for me. And you can see the knots can go to the front as well. I just like them pointed outwards. Okay, if you want to make a mini bouquet stake, which is what I'm making here, all I did is twisted the green stems together and then used my, this is the rest of the working yarn, to tie a knot after wrapping it down the stem. So those wired pieces can go into the pot, and then the obviously tails can be cut off. So remember the first one we made? I'm actually going to, let me show you this a little bit better. So I'm going to take that, press it down into the knot as much as I can, and then loop the knots as close over that as I can. Now I'm going to put in a couple of, 6 to 8 inch cast offs here, right through the center of the heart, and loop them over themselves to make a tassel. So once you have it looped like this, you're going to just take another cast off of the same size. It doesn't have to be bigger or longer or shorter. It doesn't matter. And you're going to take one end and point it up towards the opening of the heart and just laying it on top. Then you're going to loop the bottom end just like that. You're going to gather all that up in your hand, in your left hand, one hand, whatever. If you're a lefty, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this with my other hand. And you're just going to throw that over the whole package and loop it around a whole bunch of times. Then when you have just a little bit left, oops. Well, sorry, I thought I cut that out, but when you have a little bit left, you're going to take the end and you're going to loop it or thread it right through that loop. Now you're going to hold that in your hand and pull the top, and then locks in the knot, and you can cut off this little piece right here. There we go. And now I untwist each of these before brushing them out and cutting them to size. Some people just brush them out like that. I think it takes longer. So again, I'm doing this for Zen purposes. So whatever makes my heart happy is how I'm doing it. So I'm going to shave it off once, and then I'm just going to shape it up. You can see I'm going to do a nice little loopy-doo. Do watch your fingers, because those are sewing scissors. I don't want to... No ER visits is our family motto. All right. So now I took a needle, and it's only because I had it. Pink and white baker's twine. It's adorable, and I got it like forever ago, so I need to use it. And so I'm just going to thread that through right underneath the heart knot loops. Wow, that's hard to say. And then I tie it. And the reason is because if you don't, it's going to kind of hang a little funny. So some of these we used as like backpack charms for my daughter and my daughter's friend, but I just tied a knot there, tied a knot at the top, and then they hung them on stuff. So for this one, this is 180 inches on 16 or 18 inch of the stable yarn. Again, I tie it with the knot, I go over, I go under, and then I go all the way down, which again, I'm not going to make you watch. But I do roll up when I get that far or get that much yarn. It's intense. So at the very bottom, I'm just going to tighten, or just going to tie a knot down here. You can see there's a little tiny bit of green wire left, but I'm going to take the top piece and wrap it around. So even if you have to use pliers, that's fine. I'm going to wrap it around, and then I'm going to tape that thing to the desk and make all of the knots to the inside. Just roll them around the wire so that I can close up this piece. So we're going to do the exact same thing using the stable yarn and the wire, and we're just going to knot right over it. Isn't that easy? And then it's going to be a closed loop. I think that's good. I like this one, is my favorite style, only because to me it's easier and it makes it look finished a little bit better. So I'm going to just not bore you with that. I'm going to speed that up. La 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 la. And then once you've gotten almost all the way down, you can see here I've got a little bit of space. I'm going to remove the tape. You're going to turn all of the knots to the outside. Sorry. And then you can tie a knot at the bottom now or after you form your heart. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to start with the tip in here and then tie the knot at the bottom to make sure that doesn't come undone. And then I added a little tassel to this one as well, exactly the same way. Once you start making tassels like this, you will never go back. It does make them very nicely finished. I made a whole bunch for Christmas one year, and just everybody asked me. I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel here because they're really, really pretty when you get them nice and thick. All right, and then now you just cut this little tie piece off, and then you can unravel and brush it out. Now for this one, I also, by the way, have hoarded gray and white baker's twine. Because why wouldn't I? So I use that, and I put some masking tape to thread on some beads, and that's it. Now I hope you liked this little distraction. They're great for gnomes, dolls, or charms, even bouquet pieces. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe for more crafting fun.